What's up, boys? It's UFC Atlanta. We have Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. It's going to be skinny jean season over there in Atlanta. It's a pretty good fight card, for real. If I had to rate this out of 5, we're going to start doing this now on the channel. If I had to rate this fight card pre-fight, out of 10, I would give this a solid 7. Maybe a 6.5. This is a great fight card. Beautiful fight card. I'm going to be giving you guys my analysis for the whole fight card, except for the women's fights. Why don't they have their own organization? Fight number 1 for us anyways, boys, is Phil Rowe versus Angie Lewusa. Phil Rowe is 10-5. Phil has a 7.5 reach advantage. All 10 of his wins came by stoppage. He has 6 submissions, 4 knockouts, but Phil has never won a decision ever in life. He does not want to see the judges. If he wants to win this, he needs to keep this away from the judges. But the issue that we have with this is his opponent, Angie Lewusa, who kind of has a similar record, 10-4-1. Angie has never been knocked out ever in life. Ever. So this is going to be the will of the battle of the wills right here. But Phil's also coming off of 2 consecutive losses. 1 loss to Neil Magny, 1 loss to Jake Matthews. They're both by decision. Again, my boy Phil can never win a decision. Now, Angie Lewusa is a good grappler coming off of a loss. And my boy got a no contest when he fought Brian Battle because he got poked in the eye. He got poked in the eye bad. I don't even want to bring it up. Ange is low-key a decision merchant. He's favored by the odds, but I think that Phil got this in the bag. He's going to use his reach, his fight IQ, with his reach, with his 7.5-inch reach advantage. I'm talking to you, Phil. Use your 7.5-inch reach advantage and keep this for real. Keep this W in the bag. You are coming off of 2 consecutive losses. 2. I'll give you the Neil Magny loss. That's kind of an elite loss to have on your record. Neil Magny's like that for real. But if you lose this, you're out. You're out of here. The issue is going to be, do not get taken down. Just stay on your back foot, wait for him to throw a jab, and fucking counter with a straight right hand. Let's go. Hey, if you need me in the corner, send me an email or hit me on Twitter. Anybody's watching my content, I got you. Don't even worry about it. So we're gonna go with Phil Rowe for this one, boys. 7.5-inch reach advantage. You better not get taken down for real. Now, next fight on the card, we have Ricky Simon versus Smotherman. Smotherman took this fight on short notice. This was supposed to be Ricky Simon versus Charles Jourdain. I was excited for that fight, if we're being for real. But now I'm still excited for Smotherman. I like Smotherman. Only because he reminds me of Slender Man. Hey, the name is very similar. Anyways, Ricky Simon just broke a 3-fight losing streak by getting a knockout victory. He has a wild chin. He only has 1 knockout loss, and it's to Uriah Faber in 2019. I need to be able to speak English if I want to post YouTube videos. Do you guys get what I'm saying? All right. So, Ricky is the only few souls on this earth that could say and be honestly truthful and say that they knocked out my GOAT, Merab Dvalishvili. It was very controversial, though. Okay, it wasn't a clean, sparked him it was completely unconscious. It was a little controversial. We had 3 seconds left in the fight, and the referee stepped in and low-key kind of saved my boy. But put him in the octagon with each other now. We can really see what's going on. Ricky has a lot of elite losses, though. He's been in there with Song Yadong. He's been in there with Mario Batista. He has great experience being in that octagon. Now, Smotherman is aggressive. He has 6 knockouts and 12 wins. But my boy is 1-1 in the UFC, and he's coming off of a decision loss. But Smotherman has done this short notice shit before. He took a fight on 4 days short notice for his UFC debut and beat Jake Hadley on a decision. Took his cardio to the moon. Let's go. But my boy has a little bit of poor takedown defense. So Ricky Simon, that's the angle I want you to use. Let's take him down and let's ground and pound him. All right. This is going to be a banger. I really do think Ricky has this in the bag. He's been in there with name them from the bantamweight division. Literally name them. Ricky has been in there. Ricky is a little bit inconsistent, but we're going to put our faith that you really trained for this Charles Jourdain fight, which, if we're being real, Charles Jourdain is levels above my boy Smotherman here, if I'm just being completely honest. So, Ricky, I think you have this in the bag. Do not disappoint me, all right? Do not disappoint me. Moving on, boys. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. All right. Cody Durden is 17-7. He was a 2-time high school state wrestling champion with a record of 121-31. That record sounds like one of those like Muay Thai records that my boy Rodtang has. He has 6 knockouts, 6 submissions, and 5 decisions with 17 wins. Extremely well-rounded. My boy's going to have the hometown advantage. He's from Atlanta. He trains out of Atlanta. He's with American Top Team. He's just coming off of a beating from Joshua Van, though. And he did submit Matt Schnell for performance of the night. He has 3 submission losses and 5 UFC defeats. So if you want to beat this dude, Cody, we're going to have to submit him. Unless you're Joshua Van, who's just going out there and handing out beatings. Now, Jose Achua was undefeated until he came to the UFC. He lost a close decision. Yeah, he lost a close decision to Lenore Kavanaugh. But Lenore is 9-0, so take that information with, like, what you may. You know, he's undefeated. Now, Jose trains out of Shoot Box. He's an aggressive striker, and he is 9 years younger than Cody. I think that I'm going to go Jose here. He trains out of Shoot Box with Charles Oliveira. You know, Cody Durden is going to pressure my boy. He's going to pressure him. He's a wrestling high school champion. So I'm going to hope and pray that Jose knows what to do when you are on your back, you're throwing elbows, and you're trying to set up this triangle. Jose, hopefully they taught you that at Shoot Box. I'm gonna pray that they did, because I'm gonna pray that they did. So we're gonna go with Jose here. The age difference, the age gap, the Shoot Box training. Okay, even though Cody Durden is with American Top Team, I'll give you that. What a prestigious group. But Shoot Box, I'm gonna kind of put above American Top Team. You could see where Ian Gary went to Shoot Box and kind of elevated his game to 300%. Seems a lot more dangerous now while he's training at Shoot Box than before he was training at Shoot Box. So we're gonna go with Jose here. Probably submission. Okay? Probably submission. Cody has 3 submission losses and 5 UFC losses. Out of the 5 losses you have, you've been submitted 3 times. So we're gonna go with submission loss. Now, Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Montano. Malcolm is coming off of a first-round knockout with his UFC debut. He got Performance of the Night bonus, and he just quit his job as a pipe fitter. He also has the hometown advantage. He's from Georgia, and he took this fight on 10 days short notice. Malcolm is obviously a stand-up fighter. He has little to no grappling in his real squabbles. We've barely seen my boy defend a takedown, all right? Now, Chris only has 2 UFC fights, and he got knocked out in both of them. One fight was in 2022 against O'Malley, and he got slept. And then he had one fight in 2025, and he got slept. I'm not picking somebody who's never even won a fight in the UFC. That's like a little... Why was this fight even made? Why did Malcolm have to take this on short notice? Why couldn't we just kick Chris off the card? Can anybody cancel Chris's contract here? Is that allowed? Is Hunter available to cancel a contract? Why are you still contracted? Moving on. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. By the way, let's reverse. Let's reverse for a second. Because if Malcolm wins, he's going to get a ranked opponent after this. And he's coming off of knocking out Cameron Simon at the end of April. So, Malcolm, if you get this W, I need a vicious call out on the mic. A vicious call out on the mic. We're going to be calling out somebody from 8 to 15. That's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot. Look at Joshua Van. Look at Joshua Van. He's fighting somebody ranked like number 4 right now. He's ranked like 14. Let's take some notes, Malcolm. Let's take some notes. All right. Anyways, boys, moving on. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. This is really interesting for me. So Michael has 12 of 18 wins coming by submission. He's on there. He's in the ground. His jiu-jitsu is primed. But he's 2-1 in his last 3. But his last 3 was Tony Ferguson, Max Griffin, and Kevin Holland. Who do you guys think he lost to out of there? It's just like, your last 3 were Tony Ferguson, Max Griffin, and Kevin Holland. You could give those 3 people to me. Maybe not Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's like significantly taller than me, but I would take my fucking chances. Michael Chiesa lost to Kevin Holland in 2023, but Michael has never knocked anybody out ever in his MMA career, which is a little crazy to me because if you dream of being like a MMA fighter, that has to be your number one dream, getting a sick knockout in front of a million people at Madison Square Garden, knocking somebody out at the last second like game-beating buzzer. He's never done that. Now, Court McGee, he's never been submitted ever in 35 fights. And I'm going to say it right there. That just took away Michael Chiesa's only chance at winning this fight. Literally. Fort is 40 years old, but Michael is not that far behind. My boy's 37. Fort has never been submitted, and Michael Chiesa is literally only known for submissions, so we're taking Court McGee. I'm taking Court McGee. That's a good sleeper right there. That's a great sleeper right there. Michael Chiesa has literally never knocked anybody out, and his last 3 are Tony Ferguson, Max Griffin, and Kevin Holland. And you lost to Kevin Holland, my boy. Like, I'd much rather you lose to Tony Ferguson. At least break the Tony Ferguson losing streak before you go out there and lose to Kevin Holland. Moving on, boys. Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. Now, Paul has wins over Magomed Ankalaev, Jamal Hill, Marcio Shogun, Roa. He has wins over 3 previous champions. He's out there. 13 of 17 wins have came by submission, but this is Paul's return to 205 after going on a 3-fight losing streak at 185, not 105. Holy. He was not with Juliana Pena. My boy lost at 185 to Brendan Allen, mid, Caio Borralho, okay, and Bo Nickel. You got your ass whooped by Bo Nickel. I literally cannot put any of my hardworking money that I got from slaving in the coal mines on somebody who just lost to Bo Nickel. You were supposed to beat Bo Nickel. You were a sizable favorite, if I remember correctly, and you just did not. You just decided not to. You decided, I'm going to let this one slip by. Now you're on a 3-fight losing streak. So now your back is against the wall, Paul Craig. Now, Bellato is 1-0-1 in the UFC. He has a draw. 8 of 12 wins come by knockout. He's coming off of a draw against Jimmy Shroot. I think Bellato is going to get this done easy peasy. He has great takedown defense, and Paul just kind of sucks at shooting takedowns anyways. Watch the fucking Bo Nickel fight. All I have to say to you is just load up Paul Craig versus Bo Nickel. Watch that, and then come comment on why you think Paul Craig is going to beat anybody. Literally. Moving on, boys. Alonzo Menafield versus Omar Sy. Alonzo got knocked out by Carlos Ulberg in 12 seconds. By the way, he's 1-2 in his last 3, and he suffered a gang of knockout losses. He's coming off of a split decision super robbery. Should not have won that fight. Now, my boy Sy is undefeated with a complete skill set. 4 knockouts, 4 decisions, 3 decision wins. 36% KO rate, 36% submission rate. 50-50. Hey, it's 50-50. My boy is 4 inches taller and has a 7-inch reach advantage over Alonzo Menafield. He has the same boxing coach as Money Moicano, but my boy Sy showed a little bit of cardio issues in his last fight against my boy Young. But I do think that I think that Sy got this. As long as Alonzo doesn't get lucky with a fucking overhand right looking like Joe Pyfer, spamming the overhand right, spamming RB and Y is not going to get you the W. I mean, it might 10% of the time, but use the fucking jab and your straight if you have a super long reach advantage. It's very simple. Stay on your back foot and just utilize your straights. They're faster than hooks, and you have reach. Sy, do not let me down. Moving on, boys. Mansoor Abdul-Malik versus my dog, Cody Brundage. Not my dog, by the way. Mansoor is undefeated with 4 knockouts and 2 submissions. He only has 2 fights in the UFC, but they're both knockout wins, and he trains at Kill Cliff MMA. Now, Cody Brundage, I obviously have a problem with because he got subbed by Bo Nickel. But he looked great in his last fight, getting the first round knockout. We know he has some okay wrestling, but I would really love to pick Cody. I would. But I literally cannot. I can't. You lost to Bo Nickel. You lost to Bo, and that's worse than losing to Kevin Holland in my book. That's worse than losing to. That's literally the lowest it can go. Except for like Ansal Jubilee. Or whatever the Indian UFC fighter's name is. Bo Nickel is right down there with him, in my opinion. So I literally can't. We're going to be going with Mansoor Abdul-Malik, and the 0 stays intact, goes to 9-0. Moving on, boys. Banger, 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 banger alert. Cody Garbrandt versus Renani Barcelos. Cody Garbrandt, obviously former UFC champion, current TikTok GOAT edit. Sir, oh my God. Former UFC champion, current TikTok edit. Champion. 10 knockouts and 14 wins. My boy is definitely past his prime, even though he's only 33, by the way. 80% in takedown defense. I know a lot of you did not know that he was only 33. For whatever reason, I thought my boy was like 37, 38, 39. I thought he was up there in age. I feel like his prime was like 10 fucking years ago. Like, holy. Now, Cody has an 80% takedown defense. He was on a 2-fight win streak in 2023 over Trevin Jones and Kelleher before losing via submission in round 2 on UFC 300 against Davison Figueiredo on the early prelims. And you also got slept by Kai Kara France. Moving on, Renoni is on a 2-fight win streak. Great underdog win. Went out there and destroyed Peyton Talbot. I made a fucking video about it when that happened. Beautiful. Beautiful win against Peyton Talbot. Standing ovation that I cannot give you, but imagine I did. Now, obviously Cody Garbrandt has the most experience out of the two, but Cody is coming off of a long layoff. Last fight was UFC 300. Barcelos has the motion right now. He just stopped Peyton Talbot. Frank Ocean's boyfriend is now in the loss category. But my boy Renoni is my boy Renone. Barcelo. We're going to call him Barcelos. My boy Barcelos is a lot older. He's 38 years old and Cody's only 33. But we're going with Barcelos, bro. He looked great against Peyton Talbot. Absolutely great. And Cody, you did not look good on UFC 300. I'm going to be honest with you. You did not. I had you winning that fight too, by the way. Fucked up my whole parlay that day. Never forget it. Same with Justin. Justin, you broke my heart that day too. Moving on, boys. Hey, this is the co-main event for us. We have Edmund Shahabazanan versus Andre Petroski. Now, Edmund's 12 of 14 wins came by knockout. He's just absolutely sleeping shit, but he's been very inconsistent recently, winning one fight, then losing the next fight. You already know. I saw some Reddit threads while I was doing like my research for this video that Edmund has a weak mental. And he gives up when people want to survive the early onslaught that he throws at him. If you didn't know, Edmund was Ronda Rousey's former training partner. I have no idea what the fuck that means because why are you training with a woman? Why? You can't get better by training with her. You're only helping her. And who the fuck is she about to fight a man? Things like that make absolutely no sense to me. Like, yeah, we're training bears to go play with the otters right now. Like that. It makes absolutely no sense. None. Now, Andre Petroski averages 3 takedowns per fight. He's on a 3-fight win streak, 5 submissions and 13 wins. But all of my boys' losses came by getting fucking starched. So this is literally the game right here. Don't get knocked out and take my boys back. That's the plan, Andre. That's the plan. We're going to take Andre here. I'm going to hope and pray. He spams takedowns. Your opponent's training partner was literally a woman. He was training with women. So I'm picking you, Andre. I am. You low-key have the worst record. 13-3 compared to 14-5. I mean, you have less losses, but this has one more win over you. Who knows? Who knows what? You know what I'm saying? The unknown is still unknown. But we're going to go with Andre. Andre, do not disappoint me, please. Please. Main event. Joaquin Buckley versus Kamaru Usman. Main event. Kamaru Usman is coming off of a 600-day layoff. His last fight was against Khamzat Chimaev. He did look good against Khamzat Chimaev. It was very close. You already know if it was 5 rounds. If it was 5 more rounds, Usman would have had him. There was not 5 more rounds. Usman took that loss. It was on short notice. He did look good, but that doesn't take away the fact that you just went to 2 wars with Leon Edwards. Look what Leon Edwards has been up to. Got ragdolled by Sean Brady. Ragdolled by Bilal Muhammad. Muhammad's kind of a... He got ragdolled by Sean Brady, though, for real. And now you're going against Joaquin Buckley, dude who's way bigger than you, stronger than you, younger than you. The cards are kind of just stacked against you. But don't forget, Usman's TikTok edits against George Masvidal 6 or 7 years ago. Usman was the Pereira of his time. Extremely active, clearing out the division. But when Edwards came along and you decided to go on a vacation, I believe that you lost that spark. I don't think that you could take away that much time from the octagon and not come back looking A1. You did look a little rusty against Hamzat. To be fair, Hamzat, all he did was just hold you for the first round, so all you had to do was just hold your breath and guard your neck. But you did look good. Buckley got rocked by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He did. He did. He beat up Colby Covington a lot quicker than Kamaru Usman did. Had him leaking. Usman had wars against Colby Covington. Usman had wars against Gilbert Burns. Wars against Masvidal. Joaquin Buckley is not some undefeated prospect, though. We've seen my boy lose. He literally has a loss to Kevin Holland. Now, going with my logic here, I should not be betting on Joaquin Buckley because he has a loss to Kevin Holland. But Joaquin Buckley's been talking that shit. He's been saying, look, if I go out there and win, Islam is not jumping me in line. You better get a ranked fight behind you at welterweight. You are not at lightweight anymore. And I like that talk. I like the heel turn from Joaquin Buckley. And I think he's going to be able to get this done. I mean, I really hope he can get this done. You know, if Usman ends up beating Joaquin Buckley, they're going to do Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 4. And then if Usman wins, they're going to do Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 5. I'm going to be going with Joaquin Buckley, even though I don't want to. But I can't bet on somebody who walks down the stairs fucking backwards because their knees don't work properly anymore. I can't. Cool, you looked good against Hamzat. That was fucking almost 2 years ago. That was 600 days ago. For real. Buckley went out there and beat up Covington way quicker than you did. Doctor stoppage. I think it's an easy choice. We're going to be going with Joaquin Buckley. Knockout. For sure. KO, TKO. Listen, if Usman gets this win, I want to see him against Leon Edwards again. I do. He's not in title contention. We can't have 8 people in title contention. We can't have Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady, Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov, and Islam all in title contention while fucking Usman's about to join back. You see what I'm saying? Welterweight's extremely jammed right now. It is. But we're going to get through it. We always do. Joaquin Buckley, do not lose to fucking Kamaru Usman. I'm going to regret betting on you. I already feel it. I'm going to regret betting on Joaquin Buckley. You lost to Kevin Holland. But I can't bet on somebody who's coming off of a 600-day layoff. I literally can't. Joaquin Buckley, go out there and sleep this dude. Please. Please. Anyways, boys, those are my picks for UFC Atlanta. Skinny jeans season over there. I hope you guys like the new video format. We've been trying it out for like a week or two. I've been getting a lot better at making this content, getting my research up. We upload videos every single day. If you made it this far, please subscribe, comment. Let me know that you made it this far. I appreciate that shit. Peace out, boys. I'm out of here.